Should we be looking at the budget of Department of Homeland Security? Because I was not aware that whips, which come from the slavery era, were part of the package.
Welcome to this week's Wacky Moments of Leftist Extremism. It was a week of tears and blame for the leftist media. They started off the week with the most depressed gatherings of panelists that you could ever expect on the Sunday shows, trying to explain away the never-ending string of 8 months of pure failure that is the Biden administration.
It's been a rough 6 weeks, and it seems as if it's only getting worse.
And it got a lot worse on that Friday afternoon with all of those things happening in one day. The mood is one of soldiering on. I mean, they're certainly embattled right now, but this White House has said from the beginning, Joe Biden can chew gum and walk at the same time.
And at times, that seems like a very generous assumption.
So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to. Anyway.
But the leftist media must protect their beloved Biden. Meet the Press promoting the idea that the real problem is messaging and all that disinformation out there.
It is the disinformation that we're battling, whether it's the crisis at the border, whether it's people getting vaccine hesitancy, whether it's getting information that just does not allow them to understand what that government is actually doing for them.
Boy, if we all could just grasp all that the Biden administration is doing for us. Rising food and gas costs, dictating vaccine mandates, pushing for higher taxes. Oh, and all that disinformation at the border.
This migrant crisis has been, look, it's not seasonal. Right? President Biden thought it was going to be seasonal. This was just one of the things he had said that turned out not to be true days. And this issue with the Haitians is, I mean, you and I were talking earlier, this is yet another problem of disinformation.
The leftist media might know something about disinformation and distraction at the border this week, after spreading complete flipping lies in order to vilify the Border Patrol.
Okay, I want to show you some unbelievable images shot near Del Rio, Texas. This video from over the weekend shows a horse patrol for U.S. Customs and Border Protection trying to corral human beings like cattle. I know that, funding for the government begins in the House. Should we be looking at the budget of Department of Homeland Security? Because I was not aware that whips, which come from the slavery era, were part of the package that we issue to any sort of law enforcement or government-sanctioned personnel. Were you aware that that was being issued to people, that people had that kind of equipment on them that they could use on humans?
I was not, and I am quite appalled.
Sure, it's outrageously false to claim that border officials are whipping illegal immigrants at the border, but you need to trash border security with that disinformation. So then CNN can claim that anyone encountering a horse at the border equals racism.
That there's a humane way to enter the country without people having to possibly come in to contact with people on horses and so on and so forth. That's the definition of systemic, whatever it is. Systemic racism, systemic whatever. It's built into the system. The system is created or is set up in a way that it isn't fair to anyone, really.
If you want to know what else isn't fair to anyone, it's having an opinion that differs from the one held by the leftist media.
Let's just throw out the entire Republican Party.
Well, okay.
Oh, no wonder her name is Sunny, huh?
Is the Republican Party worth saving?
You can turn down the volume, but you can't turn down the stupid when the view is on. It's brought to you by Dove. Give them a call and tell them to cleanse themselves of advertising on a show that's so scummy. How scummy is it? Well, this week, The View actually snubbed the women who alleged sexual assault by Bill Clinton.
If you remember, when the debate was going on between Trump and Hillary, Trump brought in all these so-called victims of Clinton's peccadillos.
Oh, yes, those so-called victims. Who was the real victim?
I would submit here that the real victim was the United States of America because, and Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, it's that bad. Leftist media always wants to place the blame anywhere than where it might actually belong. Don't like General Mark Milley telling the Chinese that he'll let them know if the U.S. is going to attack? Well, on MSNBC, that is a great thing. The problem isn't what Milley and others did to undermine President Trump. The problem is that thing called the Constitution.
The problem is, I mean, I think every single thing that was done by those three people, by Milley, were helpful for the country and our security. But under our Constitution, these people didn't have authority to set their own policy.
Darn that Constitution, limiting government and powers and all. Of course, when the blame falls squarely on a Biden relation, say Hunter Biden.
We are learning new information tonight about a report alleging President Biden's son Hunter attempted to shake down the Libyan government for millions of dollars.
Well, you're only going to find that on Fox because ABC's World News Tonight, CBS Evening News, and NBC's Nightly News didn't cover that information. I'm sure CNN's website will mention it by Friday morning. Well, it's not on their website. I'm sure if I search, by name, MSNBC will certainly have something. Well, that's just strange, isn't it? I'm Eric Shiner from MRC-TV asking you, don't disappear like a Hunter story on a leftist newscast, but make great deals appear before your very eyes by visiting the MRC Store. Also, be sure to visit MRCTV.org for the latest blogs, videos, and information, and be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite social media platform if they will let you see us. And we'll be back next week with more leftist media madness.